grassroots activists in the Philadelphia area. When the scanners were coming his way to the Philadelphia International Airport, he joined forces with fellow activist George Donnelly, and the two of them created WeWon'tFly.com, a website that has been a great resource for all the people considering the issues around body scanners and pat-downs. Please, James.
Thank you, Mark and EPIC, for hosting this event. Thank you to my distinguished panelists. It's an honor to be with you today, and thank you to the audience for participating. This is a very important event. It is truly an honor to be here with you. My name is James Babb, and I am one of the co-founders of We Won't Fly. Our website is called WeWon'tFly.com, and I'm here today to sort of share with you some of the grassroots response to the TSA abuse. I believe that you have the right to be irradiated. You have the right to be groped if it makes you feel safer. We all have the right to be fondled, swabbed, probed, examined, or x-rayed. However, no one has the right to force these procedures on someone else. This doesn't change when you put on a blue shirt or pin on a piece of government-issued jewelry. We all have an inherent right to be secure in our persons. We each own our own bodies. There is no power with the moral authority to strip search and grope us against our will. We Won't Fly was started by two regular dads who are opposed to the full-body airport porno scanners on grounds of privacy, ineffectiveness, and health. When the new porno scanners were headed to Philadelphia in the fall of 2010, I realized that my ability to travel by air with my young daughters was in serious jeopardy. So I began researching and organizing local opposition. My friend George Donnelly immediately offered to build a website to support the effort. The website that George created exploded across the internet within days, resulting in millions of web hits, tens of thousands of Facebook fans, and Twitter followers. Overnight, we found ourselves in the heart of the TSA resistance movement. Our success was largely due to blog posts containing first-hand accounts from travelers about the TSA's new invasive procedures. These stories and videos of average Americans being molested by government agents spread like wildfire. We have since had the opportunity to educate tens of millions of people across the world about TSA abuse and our strategy to end it. The stories that really took off were those of average people like Meg McLean and John Tyner. People are shocked to see what's happening to mothers, grandmothers, cancer survivors, children with special needs, people with implants and prosthetics. The most vulnerable in our society were the first to take the brunt of TSA abuse. Now no one is safe. I was asked to share some traveler tales with you today. WeWon'tFly.com and our Facebook page are full of hundreds of stories and thousands of bold proclamations from angry travelers that are now refusing to step foot in airports. The videos of TSA in action have been our best advertising tool, like the video of the traumatized 3-year-old pleading, "Stop touching me," as a TSA employee continued to grope her. No one can bear to watch women and children being violated by blue-shirted thugs without screaming for justice. The ACLU has also compiled and published some of the over 1,000 complaints they have received. Mary in Texas reported that the TSA agent used her hands to feel under and between my breasts. She then ran her hand up into my crotch until it jammed into my pubic bone. I was touched in the pubic region in between my labia. She then moved her hand across my pubic region and down the inner part of my upper thigh to the floor. She repeated this procedure on the other side. I was shocked and I broke into tears. Alan from Nebraska says, "I was visibly upset, and when he started to fondle me inappropriately, I yelled, 'I want to see a supervisor.' I asked emphatically if he was legally allowed to grab my genitals, and the supervisor said he was. After fondling my genitals, he groped my buttocks and told me to have a good flight." Rosemary in Virginia says, "The entire affair was very punitive and humiliating and time-consuming and emotionally distressing. When I retrieved my things, I walked into the women's restroom and wept." Scott in New Mexico says, "While in a private room, the agent inappropriately touched my genitalia more than once and made me feel incredibly uncomfortable. The agent also pulled down my shorts about halfway, and I had to ask the agent to let me pull them back up. I was inappropriately touched, groped, rubbed, massaged, and sexually harassed. The procedure was violating, degrading, invasive, and humiliating. TSA officials have even suggested that parents make the TSA assault into a game for their children. They are conditioning an entire generation to submit to any abuse these thugs dream up. What is going on here? This has nothing to do with security. This is humiliation and conditioning for reflexive submission to the badged class. Do we need congressional hearings to know this is wrong? Do we need a study on how much radiation is unhealthy during a virtual strip search? Of course not. Anyone with a shred of decency knows that what the TSA is doing is immoral and totally unacceptable. This is well beyond conservative, liberal, or libertarian, beyond race, age, or economics. This is a matter of basic human dignity. This problem is beyond the point of reform. There is no better way to strip search a child. There is no more professional way to feel up our grandmothers. This is not an issue of TSA training. It's not even an issue of security. This is about the fundamental coercive nature of government itself. The TSA is just the latex gloved tip of the iceberg. The public is outraged because they see a TSA hand reaching into our waistband, but everything the government does is a hand in our pants. The public is outraged about nude scans of our families, but the IRS forces us to reveal far more than any X-ray scanner. The government wages endless wars of aggression abroad, participates in regime change, meddles in foreign elections, imposes sanctions and blockades, and then they claim we must let them grope our children and irradiate us because crazy foreigners hate us for our freedoms. The police state at home and the empire abroad are flip sides of the same coin. In classic government fashion, their every blunder is followed by an expectation of more power and more of our treasure. And of course, please don't pay any attention to the windfall profits of former Homeland Security Michael Chertoff, who now works for Rapist Scan Systems, selling scanners to the TSA. We've moved into a bizarre world where everything about us is open for government inspection, and everything the tyrants do is cloaked in the deepest secrecy. Reveal their dirty secrets or attempt to protect your own privacy, they will brand you a terrorist or domestic extremist, whatever that is. So what is the alternative? We need flexible, decentralized, innovative security that only a competitive marketplace can provide. As passengers, we need the freedom to select the level of security that we are comfortable with. Those who want a full prostate exam can have it. Those that prefer more modest techniques can have that too. Let Grope and Scope Airline compete with Free and Dignified Airline. It's better for security, better for privacy, and avoids the constitutional issues. So instead of trusting the same politicians that have betrayed us over and over again, it's time for a mental shift. Airplane security should not be an issue between airlines and customers. It should be an issue between airlines and customers. It should not be an issue between politicians and lobbyists. So accept no compromise. We must abolish the TSA now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, James Babb from we15.com for sharing your comments today. I'd like to start by posing questions to the panelists. And I would like to start with a two-part question for commercial pilot Michael Robertson. He's for activist and founder of we15.com, James Babb. And the question is this: one can imagine that right now we're talking about the scanner